Hey guys, and welcome back. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. Originally, I had planned on only finding all the collectibles in Into the Radius, but I decided to answer two other questions as well. And those are, what happens if you don't talk to Katya throughout the entirety of the game, and is the PP91 still viable? And so, without further ado, let's get into it. If you've been paying attention to the updates, you'll know that CM Games has put 8 fan art pictures into the game as collectibles. Not only that, there's also the 3 Pecho plushies you can find. And then finally, there's the 4 artifacts related to Katya. These include the flashlight, the camera, the teddy bear, and the teacup. Now, before starting this run, I only knew where 1 Pecho plushie was and the 4 main artifacts. That left all the paintings and 2 Pechos unaccounted for. So I began my search looking around the main base. I figured there at least had to be 1 painting around here, and my hunch was correct. After that though, I began playing the game as normal and just searching around in places of interest. And by places of interest, I mean buildings, routes, and piles of debris that players usually visit. I figured there was some pretty good chances that either paintings or plushies might be hidden in these areas. But after combing over the entirety of the first route, I had come up with nothing, and I was starting to get nervous. I figured there at least had to be 1 other painting and or plushie hidden away here, and the fact that I didn't find anything led me to believe I probably missed it. Regardless though, I had finally gotten to the point where I needed to unlock the Bolotki route. And I figured while I was here, I might as well grab the PP91 and take it for a spin. After completing the Bolotki mission and getting the PP91 fixed up, I decided it was time to search the Bolotki route. Here, I did end up lucky and finding one of the paintings inside one of the safe houses. Not only that, the first artifact for Katya is here in the form of the bear on top of this little building. After running all over the Bolotki route in places that I figured they might have hidden it, I only came up with that 1 painting. So far, things were looking kinda grim, to be honest. There's 8 paintings in total, and there's only 3 other locations I haven't been to. I decided not to worry too much about it, the rest are probably hidden up ahead. After doing a couple of standard missions, we finally get to the Pobeda factory. The Pobeda factory is also when you finally reach level 3, and at level 3 you can finally start buying plus P ammunition. Standard 9x18 versus plus P 9x18 is a night and day difference, and honestly the PP91 becomes an absolutely disgusting machine against unarmored targets. I won't lie, the amount of creatures you can one-shot with this little pea shooter is absolutely amazing. Fragments, spawns, ghosts, and seekers don't stand a chance against this thing. The only real complaint I have about it is at range and versus armored targets. I don't know if all plus P ammunition is being slightly wonky, but it felt as if I was getting a lot more bounce-offs than I should. And at range, it's simply because 9x18 is like shooting Nerf darts at anything over 30 meters. It's a very slow round and you really need to lead your targets if they're moving. But generally, up close and personal, this thing was an absolute unit. And it easily got me to the end of the Pobeda factory. Here I knew where one of the plushies was. It's literally inside the room with the objective in it, so it's a pretty easy find. After completing that mission, I decided to head back to Pobeda, this time in search of paintings. And here it was that I found another painting at yet again another safe house. The reason why I'm saying this is because I didn't catch on to the fact that all the paintings are hidden around the safe houses, which means for most of this run, which was about 8.5 hours, I was just running back and forth looking in places, hoping to find paintings in random areas, but always ended up finding them around safe houses. I don't know why my brain didn't click sooner around the 5th painting that, hey, maybe they're around all the safe houses and you don't have to go through every single building, but nevertheless I did. By the end of the game, I was still missing 1 painting and 1 plushie. Do you remember how I said on the first route that I didn't find a painting there? Turns out there is one. Hidden once again on the back side of one of the safe houses was the painting that I missed. And as far as the plushie goes, I had no idea where he was and inevitably had to look it up. Turns out the little bugger was hiding inside of a car, but all is forgiven. After decorating and pimping out my room with all the cool artwork, I decided the only appropriate thing to do was to take them all to Katya. Now, if you remember what I said at the beginning, I haven't spoken to Katya at all throughout the game. You can actually just sneak around her first statue, and the rest of them you don't have to interact with. So as far as my explorer knows, he has no idea who Katya is. Battling my way through the castle with the PP91 really wasn't all that bad. The worst part about it was actually just all the junk that I was carrying with me. It wasn't easy at all to see what was going on inside of my backpack, but after a handful of deaths, I managed to push through. Now, the castle is the epitome of toughness when it comes to Into the Radius. And as far as how the PP91 performed throughout the game, I definitely think I've changed a little bit of my opinion on it. I still stand by the fact of picking up the PP91 in the beginning of the game at its free stash in Bolotki Village. But later on, honestly, I can't really recommend it into the Kolkhoz Zarya. The reason for this is actually a simple change that CM did to the game that made close quarters combat very, very deadly. You see, the developers changed how the AI fight based on how far you are away. They ended up changing it so that the farther away you are, the slower they shoot, but the closer you are, the faster they end up shooting. And with the PP91 not really being designed for range, it means you have to fight up close, and when these guys start unloading, you're not going to last very long. I still think it's an amazing gun, but I just wouldn't really bring it past the Pobeda factory. So after fighting our way through, we make it to the top of the castle. Here we have to scan the final artifact, but I decide to make a little memorial. Taking a note from No Tablespoon, I decide to build a memorial in order to commemorate all the memories here in the Radius. Not only do we have Katya's memories here, but we have memories from outside of the Radius. We have the Pechko plushies, which are actually from a bug in the game where spawns sometimes wouldn't attack you. Then we have all this great fan art from the love and memories that people have created here and Into the Radius. And then there's you and I. I have plenty of memories of Into the Radius, good, bad, ugly, you name it. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you have your own too. And so, with all these memories and feelings combined into one place at the singular event of Into the Radius, what ends up happening? Nothing changes, because Katya still thinks that for some reason I know her. I didn't expect the ending of the game to change at all, but maybe just a little different dialogue, you know, this is our first time meeting. In the end, I just say F it and shoot myself anyways and just leave those two there bickering. But that's what I've been doing for the last week and a half. I think the next video I might stray a little bit from Into the Radius, but I definitely don't plan on leaving it. There's just a couple of games that I have that are similar to Into the Radius that I think you guys would be interested in seeing. That and it helps keep Into the Radius fresh for me. I think the next Into the Radius video I do, I'll end up taking a poll so that way I can figure out what it is you guys want to see. But hey guys, that's all I got for now, and I'll see you later.